Hello and welcome to this channel, everybody. This is the Eradicator, and today we have a little news story about some old folks, some old friends that we've known basically since the beginning of the Star Citizen adventure. And I want to talk today about Peterson, Eric Peterson, and also Rob Irving. Now, these two game developers, for those who are not aware, were some of the original developers that we had since the beginning of the Star Citizen project. Maybe you've seen some of these old Wingman Hangers videos, and Rob was basically one of the devs that were always featured on the show. There are those that are with Chris behind some of the origins of the game mechanics that we are still having today in the game. And so, unfortunately, we don't really have good news about these two folks, and that kind of sucks, of course. When you care about some people, when you get to know people and you like their work, and they eventually pursue other endeavors, and these endeavors are not very successful. And so I decided to also talk about it on my channel. Now, this is a story that was brought to my attention by Montoya, who is also another YouTuber. He's a much bigger YouTuber than I am, actually, but still he's doing great work, and usually his opinions are quite balanced and pretty serious. I'll put a link in the description down below to check it out. And he's got this very interesting message, actually, from a forum from Wingman himself, from Eric Peterson. It's a puzzle I've tried to find, but I think it was taken down somehow. But basically, Eric is saying how frustrated he is because lately people have been calling him a fraud and a scammer because the game was not delivered. And he's explaining that he's really put all of his personal money on top of the backers' money. He's put his personal money into the project, and the fact that the project is failing, plus the fact that people are actually insulting him on top of that, is actually very difficult to cope. And on top of that, the publisher that he found to publish his game, which was originally called Descent Underground, but now, until recently, it was just called Descent. It was rebooted as an origin story of the original Descent game from the mid-1990s. And apparently, the publisher that they decided to work with decided not to publish the game. Basically, that's how it is. According to Eric Peterson, they said that they are holding the game hostage, trying to get the right from us, quote unquote. And he's even indicated here that there's apparently a lawsuit happening. They say this is now with the lawyers, which of course doesn't look good at all. We can also see that Descendant Studios, which was the website that belonged to this to Eric Peterson's studio, is down. The Facebook page is down. The game has also been taken off Steam. Now, the community hub is still there, but the game has been taken off Steam, and this doesn't really look good. Now, again, I really like Montoya's work, but I would say that something is missing from this video, and that is perhaps the other side of the story. Now, again, I'm not an insider. I don't really know what's going on, but I'm trying to also put myself through the eyes of the developers. And we need to have a look for that to understand maybe what pushed the developers to maybe get the rights for other reasons, is to have a look at the work that was done so far. And for that, we can actually go to the YouTube channel of Descendant Studios. Right, so what we're seeing now is actually the latest video posted by Eric Peterson. That was actually 7 months ago. And since that, there hasn't been much update about the game. There were some updates on Steam saying the game was being rebooted and was no longer called Descent Underground, but there's Descent. They were turning it into an origin story of how the original Descent game came to be. But look, this is how the game looked like 7 months ago. And from the mouth of Eric Peterson himself, he did say that the game looks cartoony. And I believe that is quite a euphemism. Let's be honest, guys. This definitely looks like an upgraded version of a Derek Smart game. That's what it looks like, guys. And I'm really sad to say that, because I really love these guys. Really love Eric Peterson. I really love Rob Irving and all the other people who left CIG to follow him. I thought that this was a really great loss for CIG, but you gotta also put yourself through the shoes of the publisher, and the project started, a couple of years ago. I think it was in 2015, if I'm correct. And we're in 2019 now, and if this is how the game looks like and feels after so many years. We're not even talking about a game the scale of Star Citizen here. This is a game that is tremendously smaller than that, and let's be frank, guys, it doesn't look good at all. It doesn't look good at all. Yeah, you got the 6 degrees of freedoms. The controls feels... again, I haven't played that. I've been following this from an outsider's perspective, but the control looks kind of similar of how the original game was in the mid-1990s. This was also one of the selling points of the developers here. But you got to realize also that this is not the 1990s anymore, and people have different expectations as they did in the 1990s. So what worked in the mid-1990s might not necessarily work today by the end of the 2010s and the early 2020s. For example, the whole principle of Descent and having this kind of drone in mining bowels worked because of the technical difficulties, the technical challenges that game developers had in the 1990s. In the 1990s, you could not have these huge environments like in Star Citizen or GTA or these open world that we're having today, simply because the technology wasn't there and hardware would not allow it, which is why you had a lot of these games in confined environments, because that was the trick to make it work. Now, this is not something that people like anymore. Now, the other thing, these controls also feel kind of outdated. And as I'm watching these videos, I have the same feelings I had in the 1990s. I'm feeling sick. I'm feeling quite dizzy. And if this is the feeling I have watching this game, I can only imagine playing it for hours. So no way. Personally, no way I would buy a game like that, given, I'm sorry, but it really looks crappy. In terms of graphics, this is really hurting my eyes. And it doesn't seem very interesting either. Again, perhaps if I had that nostalgia of the 1990s, perhaps I would be interested. But you gotta look also at how many people backed this game in Kickstarter. Yeah, they raised $600,000 out of less than 8,000 people. You gotta have also a look at all the numbers of the people who bought this game on Steam. And I've never seen this game on the top chart of Steam. I don't know what the sales were, but I know what the reviews were, and the reviews were not good at all, which is also one of the reasons that could have pushed the publisher to just cut the wire and say enough is enough. After so many years you can't deliver, and after so many years the game is not that great, and we're gonna lose money. Now, Eric Peterson apparently in that post says that the publisher is trying to get hold of the rights. Now again, how much money did the publisher give to Mr. Peterson here to complete the game? I don't know. Does the publisher believe that the money they gave is worth the rights? Do they believe that they're going to make a better game based in the Descent universe? I have no idea. The only thing I know is that this is really unfortunate for Eric and his team, who I believe deserved better. They put they invested all their time, took huge risks to create this project, and unfortunately it has not paid off. So tell me in the comments down below, what do you think about this whole situation? Do you think it's unfortunate? Do you think that they got what they deserved? Do you think they deserve a second chance with CIG? This is actually what I believe. I believe that there are still lots of job openings at CIG. I do believe that everybody deserves a second chance, and especially if they're having financial issues. Given the fact that Chris is I want to believe Chris is a friend to them. This is what friends do. So I still believe that they could bring something to the project. Maybe I'm wrong, but tell me what you think in the comments down below. Anyway, don't go anywhere now, because we're going to talk about the giveaway. This video was brought to you by the generous donators of Patreons, who actually do help really a lot this channel on Patreon. Their contribution is really invaluable to me. and I really wanted to give them a shout out here. Also, this giveaway is brought to you by these Patreons. They are actually funding this giveaway, so big thanks to them. But let's talk about it right now. So this month I have a giveaway. I'm giving away an Origin M50 Interceptor. All you need to get a chance of winning is to subscribe to this channel and to comment any of the videos that I've posted this month. The winner will be announced on June 4th at 2 p.m. Beijing, Singapore, Taipei time, whatever city is in that time zone. That's 2 p.m. that time zone. So let's meet out there. And, good luck to everybody. That's all for this video. Thank you so much again for watching. This is Eradicator. I'm signing out.